This is the Election Bureau. Hello and welcome to the Citi Newsroom. My name is Zoe Abu-Baidoo.
And I am Nana Tuffour Boateng. Coming up.
Dismissed Foriwa MP considers challenging Speaker of Parliament's decision to declare his seat vacant.
Chairman of the Constitutional, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs Committee of Parliament bows out of the House after a 12-year tenure. We'll take a look at the high and low points of his legislative career.
EC is appalled by the refusal of President Akufo-Addo to crack the whip on the Finance Minister, Ken Oforiatta, who supervised this daylight haste.
Chairman of the Constitutional, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs Committee of Parliament bows out of the House after a 12-year tenure. We'll take a look at the high and low points of his legislative career.
A committee chairman, shuttling between your constituency and Parliament, having to do work on the floor of Parliament. You also have to, at the same time, do a lot of research.
NDC raises concerns over the president's actions on the special prosecutor Martin Amidu's corruption risk assessment of the Japa deal.
The NDC is appalled by the refusal of President Akufo-Addo to crack the whip on the Finance Minister, Ken Oforiatta, who supervised this daylight haste.
And later, stakeholders in Ghana's rice value chain still cashing in significantly a year after Citi FM and Citi TV, led by its Chief Executive Officer Samuel Atamensa, commenced the campaign to encourage the consumption of locally produced rice.
In cedi terms, rice generation should hit the 10 billion cedi mark easily, because rice had come to stay. It is competing with cassava, it's competing with maize.
The details of the stories now. Dismissed Member of Parliament for Fomena, Andrew Amakwesiama, says he will consider challenging the Speaker of Parliament's decision to declare his seat vacant after the 2020 polls.
Well, the Speaker, Professor Mike Aaron Okwe, on Saturday ruled that the Fomena seat has been declared vacant following the incumbent MP's decision to contest as an independent candidate.
Speaking exclusively to Citi News, Andrew Amakwesiama says he will not go down without a fight.
Now the Speaker of Parliament has actually come out with an announcement. Basically, what's your reaction? Are you considering going to court?
No, for now, I'm focusing on the campaign. Let me cross this hurdle first. After crossing this hurdle, we'll see what to do. I don't want to distract my attention. I mean, whoever asked them to do whatever the Speaker did, it's up to them. They can go ahead and do whatever they wanted to do. My focus is to get the campaign done. Let me finish that one. Once I get that thing done, we'll look at it.
But is there a possibility, the legal aspect of it?
What I'm saying is we will cross it. Already Parliament is gone on recess. We will get back to Parliament when the new Parliament is being recalled. So I'll consider it together with other legal brains and see what to do. I don't want to even put my mind onto that. My focus now is to get the campaign done. That is what is it. I don't bother about whatever I'm not a third. They can do whatever they wanted to do.
And the fact that some were saying your ex gratia could be affected and even your salary.
Please, that is not an issue. Ex gratia, whatever, is not an issue. My focus, as I said, is to get the campaign done. Once I get this headed cross, that is what is important. That's what my constituents are looking for. It's not the Speaker has spoken, has made people. That is an issue. Let's put that in behind us.
And so far, how's your campaign going?
It's going very well. You can witness it. This very hot afternoon, but look at the people who have tended up to just cheer come and listen to me. The campaign is doing well, very, very well.
And you're very much confident?
Very, very much confident. That time I told you, I'm winning and winning and winning. I will repeat it, I'm winning. No matter what. All the machinations they are doing, all the meetings they are doing, all attempts they want to have the election distracted within this particular communities that I'm strong. We are aware of all the meetings they are doing, but we are not perturbed at all. We are getting the campaign behind us. Then, after the election, we see what to do.
But with those machinations, what are you doing? Is there any...
Don't worry. We don't speak so many things in public. So, we shall cross it. Don't worry.
What's your message to your fans, the people who are supporting you? The constituency?
The message, they know that. They know the message already. Development. That's what we are doing. It's not, when you talk of development, we are not only focusing on infrastructure. We are also talking about human development. We are helping the youth, those who are in school, those who have finished school. That's where your focus is. So we are doing all these things holistically. So the people know what we are doing. That's why they are following us.
The question of retaining MPs with institutional knowledge and finding the right blend with new vibrant members has lingered on the minds of many political watchers in the country.
Well, in this report, Citi News' Duke Mensah Opoku reviews the tenure of one of the pillars of the consideration of bills in Parliament, MP for Finso South, Ben Abdallah Banda, who is exiting Parliament after January 7, 2021.
Ben Abdallah Banda is regarded as one of the most hard-working chairs of the 7th Parliament. The Finso South MP heads the Constitutional, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs Committee of the House. Before entering Parliament in 2009, he worked as a private legal practitioner. But what motivated Ben Abdallah Banda to switch the ropes and the gown for the hurly-burly of partisan politics?
From 2001 till 2008, till I had opportunity to contest on the ticket of my party, MPP, came to Parliament really as inexperienced and novice. So I decided to learn the rudiments of parliamentary practice. That is what I did. And you see, when your party is not in power, you go through a lot of challenges, because you have to, because of our system, people, you have to satisfy your constituency in respect of the project that they need: road, water, school, and so on and so forth. You may try lobby and get some, but you may not get what you would have wished to get.
He recounts the memorable bills he has helped craft in his legislative career.
And since I became the chairman for Constitutional Legal since 2017, you yourself can attest to the fact that we have been able to bring into being a lot of laws. Talking about the right to information law, for instance, talking about the companies law, for instance, and then talking about vigilantism and related law act, for instance, and a few others, talking about even the laws that we are discussing now, the Judicial Council, and so on and so forth, and even the Plant Variety Protection Bill, which had been in the back burner for a very long time.
In June 2020, there were agitations in his constituency before the MPP primaries.
The three of them, the candidates, they have all passed through vetting. So we don't know the reason why we are hearing that our national leaders are saying that we shouldn't vote, but they will let our MP go unopposed. If that comes, it means they are imposing him on us. But MPP, we believe in democracy. So we are saying that they should allow for primaries so that the community, the delegates, choose the best candidate for Finso.
He lost the primary to the executive director of the Cocoa Research Institute of Ghana, CRIC, Dr. Isaac Yao Opoku, by a margin of 307 votes. Reflecting on his tenure in the House, Ben Abdallah Banda is of the view that critical committees of the House must be provided with the needed secretarial support.
A committee chairman shuttling between your constituency and Parliament, having to do work on the floor of Parliament. You also have to, at the same time, do a lot of researches. There are some researches that you have to do on your own, but there are some researches that you may need assistants who are very good to be able to do those researches for you. And that I see is something that is lacking. They've given us research assistants. Fine, but honestly speaking, we need to get research assistants of a certain caliber.
When the 8th Parliament is inaugurated on 7th January 2021, Ben Abdallah Banda will not be in the House.
The opposition National Democratic Congress (NDC) has questioned President Akufo-Addo's resolve to act on the Special Prosecutor Martin Amidu's corruption risk assessment of the Ejapa deal. The party says it is appalled by the president's refusal to crack the whip on Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta and Deputy Minister Charles Dubois, who the special prosecutor found to have illegally signed the deal. There is more in this report.
At a media briefing at the party headquarters, General Secretary for the NDC, Johnson Asiedu Nketia, accused President Akufo-Addo of shielding officials found to have contravened state laws in pushing the deal through. According to him, the party is amazed at the president's decision to keep these government officials in office who they claim are responsible for the shady Ejapa deal, which has occasioned a huge financial loss to the nation.
The NDC is appalled by the refusal of President Akufo-Addo to crack the whip on the Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta, who supervised this daylight haste, and his deputy Charles Dubois, who fraudulently signed the mandate agreement when he had no locus to do so under our laws. It is sad, but unsurprising that these government officials who are responsible for the shady Ejapa deal, which has occasioned a huge financial loss to the nation, are still at post.
The party also disagrees with President Akufo-Addo's directive for the deal to be sent back to Parliament for scrutiny and passage. Johnson Asiedu Nketia says the relevant state institutions must be activated to investigate the offences committed under the deal.
We wish to submit forcefully that the findings of procurement rigging, fraud, potential money laundering, and corruption, among others, border on serious offences that cannot be remedied by any parliamentary review of the deal as is being urged on us by President Akufo-Addo. These issues can only and must be addressed through the criminal justice system of this country.
One exercise that usually involves the participation of almost every group of citizens in a country is an election. For many, it is not just about exercising their franchise, which is granted by the Constitution, but a personal choice on what they expect to see in their lives under a particular government. On December 7, one group of Ghanaians that will be voting is commercial drivers. Citi Newsroom's Akufo-Addo takes a look at the readiness of some commercial drivers in Accra ahead of the polls.
In less than a month, eligible voters will be at various polling centers nationwide to cast their ballots. Commercial drivers are among the various interest groups that will be taking part in the exercise. But how ready are they for the election on December 7?
Because a woman me do minyanka yo china on the 6th December no me power hantem me kofi akodidi na madware ada ntem send be ya me sorry ntem me bomba se my year later I will be the fit person am to aba
me dem ko blanfo na me ko wotu ona ya me man enti ama se kra se o de me Ghana kra me nyamframa se u fa bia e di rani fa bia rani tuon. You say, yeah, the actually, as we are quiet, then ye scanning being near the chairman penny for wom, or more munimushe, no more to tell
me koye pa, me ko cheki bibia, me dinda ho. Clean.
It's if I vote to
me vote to Ododoa. Me kwa da ho ankasa. Enye se me kwa ho vote, me kwa da ho ankasa a vote.
Many first person me dru ho metumaba.
Although multiple parties are involved in the election, for most of these drivers, they also see it as a two-horse race between the NDC and the MPP. Some say they will vote to retain the incumbent, but others want a change.
Yeah, to us say, now the only now I bet you are only some people here. And here, and he can say, here, Nana Akufo-Addo. Yes, this will say, this will be next 4 years and then while we say, one away at the end, oh, to us. So I'm obey. Nababam neskano de oba mesira me dem tira one side le gonje tremo.
Oh me na me support CPP but I feel way dem support John Mahama as a driver. Before 2016 election na top to 14 cities and then the top to 25 cities. It me as a driver and every quarter be a tax. It me as a driver and MPP among 2016 to me benefit be everyone.
Mehunia abano a osisu sese waye. Ene mo a ode aboa enkanka Omani impo saya dia e gina mu amama akese kra omudi omho kra mpo omo ahunu omho no enso nyame ncha de yankopon efa papa isu ama otimi asoye mu ama ti omse ye tu ase na enso so ba bia ode ya beduro no ne ye pa wa ya maye no asoye ni
me gina na Akufo-Addo de dabi. Just like
many Ghanaians, these drivers are also concerned about the peace and stability of the country. They want the Electoral Commission to play its part to ensure a free and fair election.
Neba no say kokwa na edi akoko ni se tuntum na edi akuntum ni se de be ya basabasa bia emma oman
wo gide wo yisim say aba ya to December 7th obi antimi wiem because me too ma ba we I'm going back to the police station. MPP wo ho, CPP wo ho, obi a wo ho ye be kan aba na nyina ye be twro
Me gidi say omiyom no ma ye dia bibia no obesi e wo Ghana ejina isi no so mo hwe say omoko pasha omoko other side and mama.
So it is clear that commercial drivers have a choice to make come December 7. All they want is a free and fair election. For Citi News, I am Akufo-Addo.
Now, the flag bearer of the National Democratic Congress, John Dramani Mahama, has promised the construction of a jewelry institute at Tepa in the Ashanti region when voted for in the upcoming polls. According to the former president, the institute will train residents of the Tepa community in jewelry making for onward trading across West Africa. This, he says, will create an employment opportunity for the youth of the area. He spoke during a Deborah of Chiefs and People of Tepa as part of his tour of the Ashanti region.
You can say not Ghana, the Gold Coast. And so, Osha, you took gold near the Dubai, near CCA, a good year, jewelry, Miss Anyoma. Na yamma you ready for asa ko Dubai akotosa your gold na asa bre meanwhile yes ye wonimdie se ba sa jewelry ene edioma no ho enti nana e ma asase e bi wotepa ha se ye ne tech for se ebeya ye besi jewelry institute wo ha se na beya e be training for se na mo ye jewelry ni aye jewelry market ke se wo ha Senebeya, a bet at the Akufo-Addo manone say on beto jewelry no, and I say on betre say no muye jewelry no, and also be ma tepa mine at the Nintuma Pefra. And to sa Shishena ye kind no, Abraham ye president, and Yadia Refi. And to Sanyamia Domnia Saba, the Wajidi say, Sai Jumano, Yabemanaba.
Vice President Dr. Bawumia has urged electorates in the Upper East region to reject John Mahama in the upcoming December 7 polls by voting massively for the NPP. According to him, former President John Mahama has no impactful development legacy in the Upper East region, hence the call for his rejection. Dr. Bawumia, who disclosed this during a 3-day campaign tour of the region, cautioned that the re-election of John Mahama will plunge the country into underdevelopment and mismanagement.
As part of the Vice President Dr. Bawumia's 3-day campaign tour of the Upper East region, he paid a courtesy call on the paramount chiefs of Sirigu and Mirigu. He also visited the divisional chiefs of Kanjaga and Nayagnia in the Chana Paga and Busa South constituencies respectively. The 3-day campaign tour had the Vice President appealing to traditional leaders to support the NPP second-term bid. Paramount chiefs of the Sirigu and Mirigu traditional areas commended the pro-poor policies and programs of the NPP that have impacted positively on the lives of their subjects and pledged their support to ensure the NPP retains power to develop their areas.
Your Excellency, let me at this juncture assure you of our support and to the government to bring our needs, our needed development to the people. It is my prayer that the good Lord and our ancestors, and then my ancestor, who is the secret onward, to guide you and protect you through your journey.
The implementation of free SHS policies has enabled the Mirigu and Nabango Senior High Secondary School to increase their enrollment, and JHS graduates are benefiting from it today.
The chiefs also appealed to the NPP government to urgently address some critical infrastructure problems in their jurisdictions. Addressing a Deba at Mirigu, Vice President Dr. Bawumia accused the past NDC administration of doing nothing to ameliorate the plight of the people from the 5 regions of the north. Dr. Bawumia stated that the NPP government has executed 1,488 projects in the region within the 3.5 years of its stewardship, and further accused the John Mahama government of economic mismanagement. He therefore charged the people of the Upper East region to vote against the NDC in the upcoming polls.
Today, we are virtually done with Bolga Bokuru. We are working on it. It's virtually going to be done. We are working on other routes. We've begun the Palugu Dam, and many other infrastructure projects are ongoing. But this is just less than 4 years.
And now to President Akufo-Addo, who says he is optimistic of victory in the December polls. According to him, Ghanaians across the country appreciate the achievements of his government. Speaking at a meeting with some assembly members in the Greater Accra region, President Akufo-Addo noted that though indications are clear that the MPP will win the polls, the party should not be complacent.
The assembly members, who were drawn from some 50 electoral areas in the Greater Accra region, were at the Jubilee House to throw their weight behind President Akufo-Addo and the MPP ahead of the December polls. The leader of the group, Stephen Akwesi-Akwa, says President Akufo-Addo and the MPP had fulfilled many of its campaign promises. Stephen Akwesi-Akwa says the introduction of the free SHS policy and developments in their respective electoral areas were clear indications that the MPP had performed well in its first term.
Electoral area commanders and managers nanso ye bia school de bia na ye nuanom e school na ye ba sori anapa enye nipa mienu miensa anan num te yabobo ano a omo ba abepre apɛ sika omo di be ya ahyenti ade mpo e de akɔ ade ama omba akɔ school omo books to brem omo school atade hye ene eduane prospectus gye ene hu kron banya ya ade a na ɛha yen nti ye te se and now the Danko Akufo-Addo ebeye free SHS no ye tu mu say ye bebo ntoa aka kire Ghana for ene enkran for afei nana ye hu se nyame ye yadom a oba ye free SHS na ye adwuma nti ne assembly members a yete ha ye da nana yetimi da mane bonu nsia enya akwadworo na ye yende na enso President
Akufo-Addo on his part revealed that available data had given the indication that the MPP would win the December election.
The atmosphere in the country is good for us. It's very good for us. Ghana for any asojuma yaye. Say ade hiane say ibi re fi na ya sempano. We push it and push it right up until the D-Day. We can't afford any complacency. The election is not won until the last vote has been counted. And we have to make sure that everybody who is registered will come out and vote this year's election.
Meanwhile, President Akufo-Addo has told the newly constituted National Peace Council to work to ensure a peaceful country after the December elections. The council has Reverend Professor Frimpong Manso at its new chair.
The National Peace Council has become a point of reference for addressing various conflict situations in Ghana, and particularly election-related conflicts. So I charge you, members of the newly constituted board, to continue the good work done by your predecessors and employ the most appropriate strategies that will contribute to sustaining the peace beyond the 2020 elections. You are a distinguished and eminent group of Ghanaians whom the nation expects to be up to the task. On my part, let me assure you of the wholehearted efforts that are being made by my government and I to ensure the peace and stability of the nation as we enter the last 4 weeks of the electioneering campaign. Ghana has rightly earned a reputation as the pace setter in democratic governance on the continent, a reputation I am determined to uphold and indeed enhance prior to, during, and after the 7th December elections. We have all to work together to create the environment that will allow the Ghanaian people to make their decision on 7th December in freedom, peace, and security.
Well, 17 million. That is the number of registered voters in Ghana now. The compilation of the voters register this year was a topical issue amid fears of COVID-19 cases rising. But that did not stop Ghanaians from showing up. With 27 days to the polls, Head of Research here at Citi FM and Citi TV, Nathan Kwao, joins me to make sense of the numbers. Welcome, Nathan.
Thank you very much.
So, briefly, let's look at what the exact number is, since we're hearing that there are some 17 million registered voters.
Well, that's partly true. The exact number is 17,029,981. Those are the people on the EC's roll. Those are the people who have been given the green light to show up and vote on December 7. Now, if you look at that number, you want to go back, say, 4 years ago
to 2016.
It's a 1.3 million voter increase. So that number from 2016 was 15,712,505. And as you guys can see the graphic, you can see that that's the increase. So it's gone up widely by 1.3 million more registered voters, 1,317,476. That's the difference between the exercise that took place 4 years ago and the exercise that ended a few weeks ago.
Right. But let's look at the regional breakdown and see, perhaps you can run us through the regions that recorded the most registered voters.
Well, when the EC put out the numbers, they looked at it from a 16-region perspective.
Right.
But for this analysis, I will box the new regions back into their old shape
ones.
so that
we have 10.
So we have 10 against 10. It makes it easier to follow. Now, if you're asking about the region that added more voters or the most voters, is the Greater Accra region. It added about 465,000 new voters in terms of its number. And if you go down, the second region that added some was the old Northern region. Like I said, I've put together Northern, Northeast, and Savannah. So we have the old Northern region once again. They got about 210,000 new voters. Following that was the Central region. They added 162,000 new voters. Then you have the Brong Ahafo region, which is the old Brong Ahafo region, now made up of Ahafo, Bono East and Bono They added 158 or so thousand, and then you had the Ashanti region adding 147,000. So those are the numbers we are looking at. In terms of the region that didn't add a lot was the Volta region. Very interesting number. The Volta region added 363 voters.
That's quite interesting.
Very, very small number, and that's Citi TV's channel number on DSTV.
That is true. That is true.
So that 363. So that's what the Volta region added. Now viewers can see the graph just indicating how it looked like from 2016 to 2020. And you can tell if you look at the Volta region, not a lot changed. Only 363 new voters were added to their voter roll.
That's quite interesting. If you look at the Greater Accra region and the numbers are recorded as against the Volta region, and that small figure is recorded, it's quite interesting. What could have accounted for this?
For the Greater Accra region, now typically most people would leave Accra or the big cities to go back to their homes. Let's not forget, a good part of the year was spent respecting COVID restrictions. You couldn't move about. There was a lockdown. And so lots of people could not leave to go back home. That's why you can see that Greater Accra's numbers have gone up. Typically, those numbers would have been sprinkled all around the other regions because people have left. Now they couldn't go, and they've had to stay in Greater Accra. They've had to stay in Kumasi to register here. So that's about that. Now, the same lockdown that would keep people in Greater Accra, you can say that the same lockdown would keep people, for example, in places like Volta region. They would have to stay, or even if they move, they can't go back home, and all of that. Plus, you notice that there was a lot of emphasis on the Volta region. They were saying that, all the
border closures
and all that probably could have affected the numbers. I can't tell, but it's one of the reasons you can look at and probably point to and say that probably could be a reason.
Right. Let's look at the gender mix in there.
Well, that's quite interesting. If you look at the gender mix, you have more women registering. So about 8.811 million women registering, as against 8.218 million men. So in percentage terms, like the graph is showing, 52% averagely, or if you round the number up, that's 52% for women and another 48.2% for the men. So more women registered, and that's kind of understandable, because if you look at our population data, you have more women than men. If you look at most other types of data, you have more women figuring than men, and it's also played its part here. It's the same thing that showed up in the national, the NIA's exercise. You had more women also registering than men.
Right. So that means if you look at the figures from the EC and that of population census,
you find that you can draw a relation. You find that you have more women dominating those areas. The other bits we can talk about, for example, if you want to know, for example, the region that had the most women registering is the Greater Accra region. Again, 1.8 million women in the Greater Accra region registered. And if you want a region that had the least people registering or the least women registering, it's the Savannah region. They had 154,000 women registering. If you look at it from a male perspective, the Greater Accra, not surprisingly, had more men registering or the most men registering, while the Northeast region had the least number of male registrants with 134 or so thousand on the voter roll.
Right. We know that we're looking to have some more first-time voters in there, but then let's look at the most dominant age brackets within these 17 million plus voters.
That's an interesting question. Now, if you go through the numbers, you find that 55% out of that 100, out of that 17 million, 9.3 million of them are the most dominant. Which ages are they? Between 18 and 35. That group will contain your first-time voters and people who are voting probably for the second time, or people who are generally in that very active part of life, 18 to 35, just out of secondary school. Some people are working, some will be in school. That kind of mix is what you have in that bracket. 9,376,888, making 55.061% of the entire voter population.
All right, thank you very much, Head of Research here at Citi FM and Citi TV, Nathan Kwao, bringing us up to speed with the figures with respect to the voter population or registered voters in the country going into the December polls. We are still watching the Citi Newsroom right here on Citi TV, and still ahead, stakeholders in Ghana's rice value chain still cashing in significantly a year after Citi FM and Citi TV, led by its Chief Executive Officer Samuel Atta-Mensah, commenced a campaign to encourage the consumption of locally produced rice. We have the details coming up shortly. Don't go away.
Rigworld Solutions, forging the frameworks of Ghanaian industry. Engineering solutions from the heart of Takrade, Kejebil. At Rigworld Solutions, we manufacture industrial bolts and nuts, fasteners, hoses and fittings for the extractive and petrochemical industries. World-class products with local expertise. Locate our factory in Kejebil off the Takrade Takwa Road. Call 0302 949917 or 0540 107504. Email enquiries at rigworldsolutions.com. Rigworld Solutions, crafted in Ghana, engineered for the world.
Looking for something new this November? Looking for star-studded suspense?
It's what rich, entitled people do when threatened. They conceal the ugly truths to protect themselves.
Maybe you're in search of true love.
Roses are red, violets are blue. I got a crush on you, baby, would you be my boo?
What about a bit of family drama? Need something to keep the kids entertained?
We're ready to help with the case, Mira. We'll look for clues.
Perhaps criminally good comedy is your thing. Whatever you're in the mood for, look no further than DSTV.
Hi, my name is Salamatu. Yes, these are both me. You see, before free SHS, my life could have taken two very different paths. The SHS path depended on how much money my parents had, what sacrifices they were willing to make, and whether they would send me or my little brother Issa to SHS. The other part is what would have become of me if there was no free SHS. But today, thanks to free SHS, my future is bright and promising.
Congratulations, you have a name. It's a boy.
Instead of depending on others, I will stand on my own feet and help my family. Free SHS is where my dreams for a better future and the dreams of thousands of young girls become a reality. Don't let NDC take it away from us. Vote for NPP and give all Ghanaian girls a chance for a better future.
Thank you, sir. Hello, my name is Samuel Ofori, a film actor and a film director. Because of the nature of my job, the taste for quality things is endless. Quality phones, quality laptops, quality TV sets. Let me show you my secret. Here is Franco Trading Enterprise. My secret for quality laptops, quality phones, quality TV sets, accessories, come on, external hard drive, pen drive, name it. For bulk purchase and retails, come to Franco Trading Enterprise. They'll reduce the price for you. Franco Trading Enterprise. Home quality phones.
In Ghana, the law enjoins all drivers and passengers in a moving vehicle to wear a seatbelt. No excuse is good enough for not wearing a seatbelt. Seatbelts that are fitted in vehicles are adjustable, so please adjust it to suit you. Let it rest as close as possible to the body. As a driver, before you drive off, ensure everyone else, especially children in the vehicle, have fastened their seatbelts. The airbag is not an alternative to a seatbelt, because in the event of a crash, only the fastened seatbelt will stop a passenger from being thrown far forward. So buckle up. Stop road crashes now. Stay alive.
This road safety education is brought to you by the National Road Safety Authority.
You're welcome back. Now, stakeholders in Ghana's rice value chain say they have seen improvement in their businesses a year after Citi FM and Citi TV led a campaign for the consumption of local rice. Citi FM and Citi TV, led by its Managing Director Samuel Atamensa, commenced a campaign last year to encourage Ghanaians patronize locally produced rice. The following report by Akufo-Addo takes a look at the gains made in the local rice sector a year after the campaign.
And this year, this is our challenge. You can see it with your naked eyes. All these sacks are spoiled due to a lack of market this very year. We need government to come to our aid.
This situation in the Fumbisi and Bedinglisi rice valleys in the Upper East region a year ago left several farmers stranded. Soon after that, Citi FM and Citi TV, led by its Chief Executive Officer, Samuel Atamensa, launched an awareness campaign for the patronage of Ghana rice. On-air conversations and off-air activities, including an exhibition fair by the station, coupled with some government response and interventions, gave Ghana rice some prominence. A year on, and rice producers say they are still enjoying the fruits of the campaign. Rice farmers say they worry less over a ready market whenever they harvest their produce. Manufacturers in the value chain have not been left out. With the quality of rice sourced and properly packaged, Nana's rice has seen an increase of about 300% in sales.
Third quarter of this year, we've increased our sales by 300%. That's what I meant by sales has increased significantly. Yes, and then we have a production team as well. We have about 5 or 6 new members or new employees adding up to our production team. It helped put our name out there because we were doing local rice, but not everyone knew about us. And then our sales were fairly good. However, it's increased because of the publicity. Yes, that's about it.
Christiana Badadame is a wholesale trader of Ghana rice. She says with the intervention by Citi TV and Citi FM's campaign, she now sells approximately 300 kilograms of Ghana rice every week.
Before the campaign, it wasn't moving fast. But truly after the campaign, it's moving more than I thought.
How was it moving initially?
Formally, people come to buy one, but for now, somebody will just come and buy 5-6 bags away, and it follows up like that. Yes.
So in a week, do you know an estimate of how many?
At least in a week, I sell more than 300 bags. Yes.
And that's a significant improvement.
Yes, please.
So do you think that the campaign has been helpful?
It has been very, very helpful to us.
But does this have a rippling effect on Ghana rice traders in the various markets across the country? The news team visited the Medina market, which sees hundreds of patrons each day. The team observed that a few rice shops had Ghana rice for sale. Vendors say the craze for the product had caught on and therefore the need to restock.
We have Mama Gold and then Royal Farmers. So the purchase is very high. The demand is high. So they come, they ask of Ghana rice. Now, they don't really buy the foreign ones. They want the local ones. So it's moving fast. We started not long ago with the Ghana rice. We were not doing local rice. Okay. But then because of the demand, we started, I think, somewhere last week.
Oh,
okay, roughly, we've sold like 20 bags of the 50 kg. Wow. And then we sold some of the 25. And then we have the Mama Gold, which is the 5x5. We've sold about 10 or 15. Yeah, so they are buying it.
On the contrary, some shops had taken the product off their shelves as they claimed customers preferred the imported rice because of the pricing of the Ghanaian equivalent.
Me for Ghana rice, me for 5 bags. But my tongue for me, 100 bags. That's another so. Yeah, Toby, but it was more. So but in the price, you know.
Local rice tends to be expensive. It's very expensive. One man came here, he was selling local rice, and I was trying to ask about the price. It was more expensive than the rice they normally buy. And when it is made in Ghana, it should be cheap for Ghanaians to buy.
Some of the customers confirmed the claims to the news team.
The prices are higher than the foreign one, yes. They should decrease the prices, but the quality is good, yes, but they have to decrease the price.
The foreign and the local, I think the local is expensive, yes, than some of the foreign, the imported rices. So
you think they should do something about it?
Yes, something should be done about everything made from here. We should rather get it cheaper so that people can buy than expensive than the imported ones. If it's imported and it's cheap, somebody will buy. Like some imported rice, you get it 28, 25 cedis. And here that we made the Ghana rice here, it's expensive. So
meanwhile, the president for the Rice Millers Association, Yao Edupoku, says the lack of financial support from the financial institutions still poses a threat to the various players in the value chain.
Unfortunately for us, the banks, let me say, are dragging their feet. It's still difficult for them to understand the urgency of our situation. That when the harvest comes, we need to pick. The reason is that if we don't pick early enough a mill, the Harmattan will set in. And when the Harmattan sets in, two enemies come to the fore. The bush burning at one end, and then the dryness of the rice at the other end. If the bush doesn't burn, the rice will dry and break. So at this point, it is imperative that you pick as much as possible a mill.
So clearly, several stakeholders in the rice production chain have benefited from Citi FM and Citi TV's campaign to patronize Made in Ghana rice. Their call is that this continues even as we enter Christmas. Now, I will say that if you go into the market to buy rice, you might want to choose the Made in Ghana rice. Reporting for Citi News, my name is Kweku Ediama Ansa.
The Kumasi Airport will soon be upgraded to an international facility, according to the Ashanti Regional Minister. The Regional Minister, Simon Osei Mensah, speaking at the 9th edition of the Nation Building Update, indicated that work on the airport will be completed by the middle of next year to allow for the reception of international flights.
Some people said they've constructed Kumasi International Airport, spending over $29 million dollars on that particular project, just providing lights on the runway. And they thought maybe mere changing the name of Kumasi Airport to Kumasi International Airport made it international. Have they seen any flight coming from London to Kumasi? Or from Istanbul to Kumasi? We are now building proper international airport for which we are extending the runway by an additional 230 meters, and it can take Boeing 737-800, and that is what we call international airport. So that I can check in Kumasi, will not stop in Accra, I can fly straight to UK. And that is what we are going to see latest by middle of next year.
You're still watching the Citi Newsroom. My name is Zoe Abu-Baidoo, and I'm here with
Tuffour Boateng.
When we return from this break, third phase of disinfection exercise of markets and other places and other public places takes place in Sunyani.
We'll bring you the details when we return.
Sunana Abdulrazak. Last week, I received a message from Bet Planet. Come on, now win golden ticket. Nadan je saya ma Mercedes Benz na. Don ba ku yadda ba kuma gashi nan ga sunana kai. Bangaren gora kaman gaskiya ne. Mun na sun ce na gode Bet Planet. Na gode ma kowa.
If you win, no one win like Bet Planet. My baby, hold you low. If you win, no one win like Bet Planet.
You've come a long way from where you started, and in that time, you've upgraded a lot. But have you upgraded your entertainment? When you upgrade to GoTV Max, everyone gets an upgrade. Football fans can up their game with La Liga and get all new action with the NBA and NFL on a brand new channel, ESPN. The kids will go crazy for the most popular kids shows, and family night is sorted with blockbuster movies on TNT. Plus, our local celebrities will keep you connected to your continent, while our general entertainment channels will take you international. There's a whole lot for the whole family when you upgrade to GoTV Max, so make the move today and give your family an upgrade they'll love. GoTV, live it, love it.
Hi, my name is Salamatu. Yes, these are both me. You see, before free SHS, my life could have taken two very different paths. The SHS path depended on how much money my parents had, what sacrifices they were willing to make, and whether they would send me or my little brother Issa to SHS. The other path is what would have become of me if there was no free SHS. But today, thanks to free SHS, my future is bright and promising.
Congratulations, you have a name. He's a boy.
Instead of depending on others, I will stand on my own feet and help my family. Free SHS is where my dreams for a better future and the dreams of thousands of young girls become a reality. Don't let NDC take it away from us. Vote for NPP and give all Ghanaian girls a chance for a better future.
Nana, come and help me. You need to learn, but I'm more interested in drawing. How are you going to be part of the business if you don't learn? You just don't understand.
Morning. Anyone for some Lipton?
The rich taste of Lipton awakens body and mind.
Let me have a look at your drawings. Son, these designs are amazing.
Lipton Yellow Label Tea, awaken to what really matters.
Many thanks for your time. The third phase of the disinfection exercise of markets and other public places has taken place in Sunyani, where the main lorry terminal and other places have been disinfected.
Now, with the increasing number of COVID-19 cases in the Bunu region, residents have been admonished to adhere to the protocols. Citi News' Michael Saponi-Fum has more.
The third phase of the disinfection exercise by Zoom Lion Ghana Limited began at the main Sunyani lorry terminal at the Nana Busuma market. The newly constructed Nana Busuma market was also disinfected. The Sunyani Coronation Park also benefited from the exercise. The Bunu is and a half regional manager of Zoom Lion Ghana Limited, Esther Abayete, has been speaking on the disinfection exercise.
As we speak now, the cases in Bono are rising up. Over 100 cases have been recorded, new cases in the region. That is the reason why we are doing this disinfection exercise, to be able to control the spread. COVID is still here with us. And so since we don't have any vaccine and we don't have any cure for it, there is the need for us to still continue with the preventive measures.
Some of the workers at the main Sunyani lorry terminal have been shining their torch on the disinfection exercise.
The papa, or you say, Master Yadian and Quay, a separate animal. Nambomuno, Adibako Hamne say, information on Makasi. The who answer many machines in Abyss, you say, Umbesprit, Tiabana San, Yanoma Yashin, I say ye. The Srawa Master, Adio Juman Mujino, E. Nijo Panum, Nestan Biano, Omoman Kaibono, and Quachiri.
Because Nipa de. Sebi basenes I say your boy home by say ye adia ebe boa obia enti eye pa eye ni giseme
COVID-19 no mo say enko enti o mo be spray na ebe ti ama mo ana yo han bia ewu ebe boa e ama ya de no ebi enya e nti o ma ya de pa.
From the main Sunyani lorry terminal, I am Michael Saponi-Fum reporting.
And that'll be all on the Citi Newsroom. Our website, citinewsroom.com, has more information on our top stories and more.
Subscribe to CityTube on YouTube for more exclusive video content from Citi TV.
Download the Citi Newsroom app from the Google Play Store or the App Store and keep updated on the go.
And you can also watch Citi TV on DSTV channel 363 and on GoTV channel 182.
My name is Zoe Abu-Baidoo.
Mine is Tuffour. It's always a pleasure coming your way.